Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Hey, welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. This week, I want to return to something at the heart of what we talk about here. Love. Surprise! But not love as a passing mood, and not love as a sentimental word that we pull out when we want life to sound greater than it is, or gentler than it is. I want to talk about love as a force, a real force, the kind that moves through people and changes what happens next. We usually talk about love as something that we feel, and of course we do feel it. We feel it in the chest. We feel it in memory. We feel it when someone matters to us in a way that we cannot quite explain. But feeling may only be the place where we notice love. It may not be the whole of what love is. Because love does not stay still. It moves. It reaches. It redirects. It takes a moment that could have become cruel and bends it toward mercy. It enters a room where everyone is guarded and gives one person the courage to speak gently. It moves through a hand on a shoulder, a quiet apology, a word that arrives before someone gives up. That, guys, that is more than emotion. Emotion can rise and fall in an afternoon. Love can keep working long after the feeling has changed. A parent may be exhausted and still get up. A friend may not know what to say and still stay. A person may be afraid and still choose kindness. There's something moving underneath those choices. That's what I mean by the love force. Not something that we fully control, not something that we can measure neatly, but something that we can recognize by what it does. Love leaves evidence. It softens what was becoming hard. It opens what was beginning to close. And it reminds a human being that they are not merely a problem, a mistake, a burden, or a name on a list. They are a life. And once we see another person as a life, something changes. We may still disagree, and we may still need boundaries. We may still have hard truths to speak. But love changes the spirit we bring into the moment. Without love, truth can become a weapon. With love, truth can become a doorway. That doesn't mean every doorway opens easily either. It doesn't mean that every wound heals quickly. Some things take time. Some relationships cannot return to what they were. And some harms require distance, accountability, and a very clear no. Love is not weakness, and love is not pretending. Love is not standing still while damage continues. But even when love has to step back, it doesn't have to become hatred. That may be one of the signs that a deeper force is at work. Love refuses to let harm turn us into people who now only know how to harm. It gives us another possibility. That possibility may begin so quietly that we almost miss it. A person pauses before answering. A sharp sentence is swallowed. Someone who could have made the wound larger chooses not to. No one may call that holy. But you know what, guys? I think it is. Because something passed through that moment and changed its direction. And that's how love often moves, not with thunder and not with a spotlight. More like a current beneath the surface of a river. You may not see it at first, but you can tell it is there because of where things begin to go. A person who has been loved well may become a safer place for others. In fact, probably will. Someone who was forgiven may learn how to hold another person's failure with more care. A kindness received years ago may return through us at exactly the moment that another soul needs it. The original giver may never know, and that's part of the mystery. Love travels farther than our awareness. It enters one life and comes out through another. It changes tone, form, language, and timing. But somehow the force keeps moving. We've all felt the opposite too. Fear moves, anger moves, cruelty moves. A harsh word can travel through a family for years. A wound can echo into people who were not even present when it began. And that's why love matters so much. It's one of the few forces strong enough to interrupt any of those chains. Someone has to decide that the pain will not continue through them in the same form. Someone has to let mercy have a chance. Someone has to say, even if only inside their own heart, this ends with me. And that's not easy. It may be one of the hardest things that a person can do. But when it happens, love has moved through the world in a way that changes the future. Maybe only a small piece of the future, maybe only one conversation, maybe only one child, one friendship, one home, one heart. But small does not mean meaningless. A match is small. So is a seed. I go back to the seed a lot. So is the first breath after a person has been crying too long. Love often begins at that size. Close enough to touch. Quiet enough to dismiss. Powerful enough to alter the road ahead. I think that's why we should be careful not to reduce love to a feeling. Feelings matter, but they're not always reliable guides. They get tired. They get tangled with old fear. They can be bright one day and hidden the next. The love force is deeper than that. It is the movement toward life, the movement toward healing, the movement that asks us to see one another more fully, even when it would be easier to shrink the other person down into something simple. That is what cruelty wants, guys. Cruelty wants people reduced. Love restores depth. It says there's more here than their worst moment. There's more here than the fear. There is more here than what can be seen at first glance. And guys, that does not excuse wrongdoing. It does not erase responsibility. I have to say that so many times to people. It simply refuses to throw away the soul. And maybe that's the great work of love in the world. It keeps calling the soul back into view, in ourselves, in the person beside us, even in the person that we struggle to understand. And that's not soft thinking. That is brave thinking. It asks more from us than contempt ever will. Contempt is easy. It arrives quickly. It feels clean because it doesn't have to carry much complexity. It's lazy. Love is slower. It has to listen longer. It has to tell the truth without losing its humanity. It has to care without becoming blind. No wonder love feels like a force, guys. It's not merely just pleasant. It's demanding in the deepest and most beautiful sense. It asks the heart to become stronger without becoming colder. It asks the mind to become clearer without becoming cruel. And it asks the life we live to become a place where healing has somewhere to begin. And the wonder of it, the wonder is this force can move through ordinary people, through us. Not because we're perfect carriers of it, because it's for sure that we are not. We get impatient. We misunderstand. We speak too quickly. We carry our own wounds into rooms and sometimes forget that everyone else is carrying theirs too. Still, love keeps offering itself. A chance to begin again. A chance to answer differently. A chance to let something better pass through us than what first reached us. That may be the invitation for today, guys. To notice where love is trying to move. In the conversation that we've been avoiding. In the person who needs a little more patience. In the old hurt that keeps asking whether it must become bitterness. In the quiet nudge to reach out, apologize, forgive, protect, encourage, or simply to remain present. Love may not announce itself as a force. It may only appear as the next right thing. But if we say yes to it, the world is different than it would have been. At that point, it all changes. Maybe that's enough for today. Not to understand the whole mystery, not to explain the love force as if it were something that we could hold in our hands, which I kind of believe it is, but just to become more willing to let it move through us. Because love is not only something that we feel, it is something that moves. And when it moves through a human life, even briefly, the world receives a little more light than it had before. Thank you, guys. Thank you for spending this time with me on Infinite Threads. May we recognize love as more than emotion. May we become open to the force that heals, softens, and restores. And may something in us be willing today to let love move through. I love you guys very, very much. And you know what I need you to do, right? Go out and pass that on, okay? Later, Gators. Bye-bye.
Fears